And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Facebook Live. Today is Elite Panel Day. We do this once a month. This is very exciting. Today we have from the Inland Empire, I would say mostly Marietta, Temecula area, right, Jennifer? Jennifer Wentz. All right, welcome to the show. And also from lovely Las Vegas, Nevada, St. Rose office, we have Alberto Saab. Welcome to the show. That was especially for Alberto because it sounds like Clown Town. All right, let's get it started. Let's start off with Jennifer. Jennifer, tell us a little about yourself, how long you've been doing this, all that good stuff, please.
Yeah, no worries. So, I'm in particularly Menifee. I've been an agent actually in about a week. It'll be 10 years that I've had my real estate license, which is awesome to celebrate. I used to actually manage for the company in Menifee, and I stepped down because my heart was pulling towards the direction of just residential real estate. So I love this job. I'm passionate about it. And I love working with people. So yeah, I've been in the business for about 10 years and I love it. It's great.
Right, and you've also become a little bit of a real estate investor as well. Very exciting. All right. All right, let's go over to Alberto. Alberto, how about you, my man? Tell us a little about yourself. How long you been doing this?
I started in 2000, so I've been doing real estate for 24 years. I've been a realtor for 20. And we started out as buying properties and as investments, that sort of thing. And then we got our butts handed to us in '08, like most of us did. However, luckily we saw some of the writing on the wall prior to and made some smart decisions strategically to stay alive and not have to leave the industry. And we survived that and ended up having some great years actually in 9, 10, 11, that kind of thing. And we continue to invest to this day as well. So we have the real estate realtor side of things, and then obviously we have the investment side as well.
Awesome. Yeah. Product knowledge is good. And, having the confidence to invest in your own product, I think says it all.
Agreed.
All right. Right. And rumor has it that that's not a base signed by Gene Simmons. It's actually your base.
That's well, if I can get Gene to sign this thing, it'll go up in value astronomically. So
right.
I'm going to work on that.
All right. I think he sold his house locally though, but anyway, he's probably still around. All right, let's get back. Jennifer, tell us. Okay, so today I would like to focus on, and you can take it, okay, as many as you want, 2, 3, 4, whatever. I want to talk about your strengths. So you're a top producing agent, obviously, and tell us about your strengths. What do you do really well in this business that caused you to produce at a high level?
Honestly, so this is a relationship business, right? So you have to be present for your people. And being a self-employed individual, you need support from your family and your friends to be able to do what you need to do, the time that you need to do it, even if it's at the drop of a hat. So my strength, honestly, I think is follow-up and relationship building skills, because I want people to trust me as a person before they trust me with their biggest asset that they're ever going to purchase or sell. So follow-up, consistency. Sorry, I'm out of whack a little bit with my Wi-Fi. So follow-up and consistency is huge. And honestly, just being there at the time that they need you, not being, a car salesperson, just kind of being there and present. Thankfully, at this mark of my career, it's a lot of referral based. People talk, and you want people to remember you. And by remembering you, you have to follow up and have touch points with people multiple times throughout the year. So I think, follow up and relationship building skills and consistency are my strengths.
I love it. And you also, I see you do a lot of stuff with your town. You do a lot of stuff, like community work. Tell us a little about that, because I think not only does it look good on social media, because it does, but it's also for good, obviously, causes and so forth. And that's definitely a way to talk to people and make connections as well, right?
Yeah, I think it's super important, for being an agent in your community, you have to be connected with the Chamber of Commerce, with the Rotary Club, with nonprofit organizations, with your cities. it's really important because then you get your visibility out there, you get exposure for your brand, for your individuality, and for your company. And you start networking at high levels, and those people will also refer you on to the right people when the time is right for a real estate need. So I'm a part of pretty much everything there is to be a part of in Menifee, including the Lake Menifee Women's Club as well. So I think it's super, super important to be a part of every outlet that you can be in your city and your community.
Right. No, it's good. It's good to have ties right there and let everybody know. Yeah, I mean, you get to see everybody, parades and events, and I know you do Christmas events and all kinds of stuff. I think you were dressed up as a Christmas tree last time I saw you on one of those. Anyway, it was something to do with Christmas, and it was really nice.
Yeah, definitely. And yes, I was a Christmas tree present. I was a present under the Christmas tree. I had another agent be Christmas tree.
Okay. All right. All right. And a man who's never been accused of being a Christmas present. Just kidding, Alberto. Alberto, tell us a little about your strengths and so forth, too.
I definitely would say it's mindset, consistency, and always trying to learn. Right. So consistency. I'm very consistent with my schedule. I'm always prospecting. I'm always working on the business. I stay very consistent, which I think is good in any business, right? Consistency, always learning. I'm always like, my mind, it just always works. Like I always want to know what this is about, what's that's about. What's the stats on how many homes are available? Obviously, how many homes are selling. Keeping that in my my weekly, I look those numbers up, and I'm always looking into something to continue learning. In fact, I'm reading a book right now on how to build a house. Right, so we sell houses. We should know a lot more than the homeowner. Actually, we should be able to at least understand, when an inspection is done. So those kinds of things, and then mindset. Mindset I think that's one of my strengths. I'm always looking, like when things don't go my way or aren't going in a way that I like them going, or they worry me, that kind of thing. Not that that's a lot, but when it does happen, I'm very good about like remembering that everything else, I have a great life, and that I need to not worry about things and actually move forward. If it's something I got to figure out and get through, great. But in a lot of cases, it's more like, don't let that distract you, and move forward with business. Address it if you need to, but move forward with business and understand where your value is. Like a great example is obviously where, the real estate industry is having its turmoil right now with the lawsuits and that sort of thing. But in the end, people still need to sell houses, and people still want to buy houses. So how do we help them do that so that they're protected, and show them the value and we better have value, right? We better show that we have value, because without value, then what are we there for? So those kinds of things. That was my most recent thing that I had to think about. I, gave it some good thought, and then move past it, right?
Yeah. No, I agree. Mindset's critical. You definitely are consistent. We'll get into your role play group in a minute, but I think that if you're going to be, and especially like you just said, with changes coming, there's changes coming, right? We don't know exactly what they're going to be yet because nothing's 100% approved, and it's a distraction if you really let it be. And but the bottom line is, you still, like you said, people still got to buy, people still got to sell, create value. You'll do deals, guys. I'm going to tell you, you've been doing it for 24 years. Jennifer's been doing it for 10. This is my 39th year in real estate. It's all I've done. I got my license at 9. I'm joking. I got my license at 19. But, I've seen so many. I remember, especially for Jennifer, it's going to sound crazy. When the internet got introduced into real estate, people went nuts. I hope you enjoy. I've been selling real estate for about 8 years, and then the internet comes in and like, okay, I hope you enjoyed your job, because people are going to buy houses off their computer now, and you won't be necessary. And I actually believed them. I'm like, oh my God, well, it's been a good run. And then guess what? 30 years later, we're still doing foundationally the same thing, because it's Jennifer said it first. It's a person-to-person relationship business. And if you're good at that, you do really well, meaning that you take your fiduciary responsibility seriously, which it's a huge ressporsibility, right?
Well, the
So
reality
Jennifer,
is that
go ahead, Bravo.
you're always going to have changes. Things are always going to change. It's never going to be nothing's going to be all the way consistent for the rest of your career, right?
Yeah.
I mean, just in if you think about obviously 2004 things were flying off the shelf. 2008 we had the crash of the real estate, and then within a split second, AB 284 changed that in 2011, where it went from all these foreclosures to it stopped immediately, right? So that was a big change, and then interest rate, then COVID, of course. So you just have to be ready that it's always going to change, and just stay core to yourself and to your clients, and you'll be okay.
That's true, and that's such a
Yeah.
good mind. Go ahead, Jennifer. What you want to add to that? Absolutely.
Yeah, no, he said it perfectly. And basically, the biggest thing you can do is just adapt and pivot, right? You have to business plan every single year and at least once a year. So you can, pivot in a direction that the market is taking you and where your journey is taking you. So you have to take all that into consideration and really, adapt with everything.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
And about business plan at least once a year. I love that, because that's so true. Your business plan changes. It could change in the first quarter. It could change in the second quarter. So yeah, you're spot on, Jennifer.
Yeah, you have to have a plan, but you got to be the flexibility to pivot, as Jennifer said, when you need to, because things change. So, have you guys? I know it's a little early, but have you thought any changes that you're going to make to your business, Jennifer, with this new ruling and so forth going on?
To be honest with you, I know it's fluid, right? Things are changing every single day. More communication is coming out every single day, and at this moment, business goes on for me, business as usual, until I need to figure it out. So Joe, my manager, has office meetings all the time, so we can always be up to date on everything that's going on. But just like Alberto said, people need to buy and sell, and that's what I have to focus on.
Yeah, good thought. Good thought too. How about mindset? I know you're strong in the mindset category too, because we used to work together. You were a manager for a couple of years, and then you were my coaching for a little bit. Alberto goes in and out. He comes in like every 2-3 years, but he does, which I think is great. He goes to Mike Ferry, Tony Robbins, comes back to me. I think it's smart. I mean, I would get sick of me after a year or two at least. But it's good to mix it up and listen to different voices and read different books and so forth. So what do you do? Like, what's your routine to keep your mindset strong?
Jennifer, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, and Rick, I think you broke up a little bit. You're talking about mindset, yeah?
Yes, mindset.
Okay. No, that's like number one for me as well. Just like Alberto, I didn't mention it because it's just there. But mindset is huge, especially when you have personal stuff going on around you. You have changes in the market. You have negative media. You have all these things that influence you in different ways, and so you can easily get distracted with the negativity and all this stuff coming at you like a whirlwind. And so honestly, for me, I've started to go to the gym again. I started to meditate a little bit. I start to try to time block like Alberto does. There's a lot of ways to improve with mindset, but at the same time, positivity is what I try to always surround myself with. And sometimes that means not going to the bar and hanging out with a certain group of people. Sometimes it means separating yourself in some sort of way from something, social media, or whatever the case may be. But mindset is everything, because that's your driving force, right? That's your soul coming out to work and be present. So completely, that's number one. That's a driving factor for sure.
Well, good. I love it. Go ahead, Alberto. You want to add to that? Yours?
Hey, you know what? There's a lot of things that I do for mindset, but I'll be honest with you. I think the one thing that is the most impactful is what you say to yourself on a consistent basis. You're saying to yourself things are going to be great and you have a great life, you're going to have a great life and things are going to be great for the most part. Of course stuff's going to happen, but if you're constantly worried about stuff and thinking negatively, well, you're going to get what you think about, right? So that's the core of it. I mean, I read, I journal, I love doing role play in the morning. Role play in the morning really gets my day going. That's what that and exercising. But in the end, it's all boils down to what you tell yourself.
Yeah. Absolutely true. You know, you can see, I'm going the wrong way. It's a mirror image. You see my little sunshine pin here. We at the convention last week, we met we have actually a woman here, a child. She's 13 years old. She's at the Sunshine Kid. She's right here in Vegas. But with this one, I met all four of them, and one of the kid, you know, the guys went up and spoke. He was 18 years old. He looked like he was about 14 or 15. He had like 26 operations. He just had a liver transplant.
Wow.
He's got the cancer that they cure it through, you know, and then it comes back 6 months later somewhere else, and he goes through chemo and radiation again. And I'm going to tell you something. You would think this guy was like the sheik of somewhere. He talked like everything was wonderful, super positive attitude, grateful to be alive, very good faith, you know. And his mother was there with him, and she was so proud of him, and you know, and it was listening to the kid. There wasn't a dry eye in the place. It was amazing. Okay. And I got to tell you something. If a lot of us, we wake up and we go, oh, I have to call expires today. I got to do my lead follow up. And I would say, you know, you don't have to, you get to. You get to do these things every single day that other people think about it. I do crazy stuff like this. I look up anytime I'm trying to feel bad, I go through this gratitude thing I do, right? And I just started thinking about all the things I needed to be grateful for. Last week, I looked up on the, I thought, well, what isn't, I should be grateful just to be in the best country in the world, right? So I looked up what percentage of the world lives in the United States. Do you guys know what percentage? Take a wild guess. Go ahead. Come on.
10%.
And you say 7 or 8? 7. Okay, it's 4.5. 4.5% of the population of the world lives in the United States. That's why you know why people are coming from everywhere to get in here, because it's the best country in the world. So you just start there and go, okay, then I drive on these streets, and there's so much to be grateful for, even though I know we have a lawsuit. I know the Fed should drop the base rate. But even everything considered, we have it pretty good, don't we?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so all right, so we talked about mindset, we talked about disciplining schedule. Why don't you tell us, Jennifer, on a typical day, like what's typical for you to do to create business and your daily schedule? Like how do you run your average day?
That's a great question, Rick. So I have on my calendar, my online Google Calendar, I actually have tasks that are repetitive, right? So every single Monday morning, I follow up with all my leads for my sphere. I do a lot of sphere stuff and referral stuff. So once every quarter, I sit down at the winery or a change of scenery and write my note cards, my handwritten note cards for the season. Once a month, I have tasks. Once a week, I have tasks. So I kind of try to do what Alberto said. I try to, you know, time block and get it pen to paper in a way in front of me, so I know exactly what my tasks are and my goals are for the day. And obviously, the goal is to get appointments, right? So certain days, I just time block so many tasks to try to just make sure that I stay on top of it and stay on schedule. One day a month, I had admin, right? I reconcile my expenses, I reconcile my mileage log. I mean, I do all that stuff, but the goal is to get appointments. So every week it looks a little bit different, and I try to remember to plan for the next community event, which is like a month away. So my biggest one obviously is the Independence Day celebration. I hand out 1,200 flags. I participate in the parade myself. So I have to plan for that well in advance to be able to print all the cards and assemble all the flags and get all that stuff ready to go. So every day is a little bit different, but that's like the most exciting thing about my job, because it's not the same 9 to 5 clock in, do the same stuff over and over again. You kind of like pivot with the season, and you know, the note cards, it's a St. Patrick's Day one with a lottery ticket today, and then Christmas is something different. So, so really just follow up with my tasks, you know, on my appointment calendar every single day is, you know, what I do. And every night before my next day, I remind myself of what I have to get done the very next day, and I make sure that I get it done. If I don't, then it goes to the next day, but I try not to make that happen very often. So.
Excellent. Yeah, you're like a gigantic networker. You're like super networking everywhere, and you've got things going on at all times, and you pass up. So it's great. Hey, my theory is however you talk to people. And I'm going to tell you something. I was at the convention, and you know me. It's all about conversations and who you're talking to and how much and time. right? And even a lot of the speakers that I heard, even though they talk about technology and social media and your CRM, all of them were talking about the conversations and how you have them are so important. So that's a huge part of it. Love it. All right, Alberto, thank you, Jennifer. Alberto, how about you? Typical day, what does
Uh,
it look like?
what's that? My day?
Yeah.
Well, I get up and I do and I stretch while I brush my teeth because I'm 55, so I got to stretch. That's my day.
What do
And
you have,
not
like a
only
really
that,
long brush?
what's that?
Would have got a really long handle so you can stretch out, and when you do.
I squat down. I put my wrist around and I squat. It's electric, and I squat all the way down, and I start stretching out this whole body. But no, no. But as far as then I read, I journal. Then as far as I role play early in the morning, and as soon as I'm done role playing, then I start calling on expired listings. Once I'm done with that, I get myself to the office and I start doing my any kind of prospecting that I have set up for that day. Generally, it looks like lead follow up, and then whatever sources I'm going to contact that day. So if it's my sphere, for sale by owners, expireds, whatever the case may be, I go after those. And then I leave my afternoons for interviews. Just like Jennifer said, the idea is to try to get an appointment for the day, right? So I try to go on my interviews in the afternoon and work on the business. Like what are we doing right now that we could be doing better for our clients, right? Like, how I try to look at things from the client's perspective and see what is it that they would really enjoy or like better. Even if nobody else is doing it, what would that be? So those sorts of things, and then I at the end of the day, like Jennifer does, I kind of follow up with what I need to do for the following day, and that I guess that kind of wraps it up for as far as the schedule, if that makes sense. I'm sure I left something out, but just
Okay.
consistently doing that.
And your sphere. We'll start with you, Roberto. Your sphere. What's your routine for making sure? Because I know both of you, a lot of your business comes from repeat referral. Your sphere. How do you do you have a program for that? How do you stay in touch? What are you doing there?
Yeah, I mean, I have my sphere and my CRM, right? So I have my A clients that I contact. Actually, I contact my A, B, and C clients all in at least once a quarter. So I stay in touch. My A clients, I do a little bit more. Like if it's St. Patrick's Day, for example, I might send out a funny video that like a jib jab where it's me and Rachel and something fun. I try to keep it light and fun all the time, but at the same time, I would remind them that I'm here in case they're looking to do anything real estate wise, or if they know anybody that needs anything real estate wise. And then of course things of value. So like in the spring, I'll contact them and remind them that they might want to have their air conditioning units checked out, and do they need a referral for that kind of stuff. So it's always something that's going to add value to their lives and help them feel good about, hey, you know what, I got something that I got to ask, and I don't know who to, well, I'll ask Alberto. And I get a lot of those calls now from people that they just contact me for that reason.
So you're like their resource. That's awesome. I love it.
I like to call it the connector. If you ever had the tipping point,
Yeah.
Paul Revere was a connector. There was two people that went out that day to tell everybody that and only one of them got famous, and that was because he was a connector. Nobody trusted the other guy because
Right.
he never talked.
Right. Yeah. And he had a long ride to go back then.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, and both of you, I would say both of you are really good at, making it fun but serious and being productive. How about you, Jennifer, with your sphere? What do you do? Do you have like a little system, or how do you work that?
Yeah, well, very similar to Alberto, but I do have like a Google Drive spreadsheet that I kind of keep track of, more detail of things. And also I add notes, what did I ask them last time? Is their dog, have a birthday coming up? I mean, just like little tiny intricate details like that, which go a long way. Then I just send a text out or an email out or something. Another thing that I like to do is towards the end of the year, I send them a copy of their grant deed. I partner with our title person, and if they don't have a trust in California, that's a huge no-no. So I try to, encourage them to protect themselves and get a trust, but at least they have a copy of their grant deed. During tax season or like in February or so, I try to send the final settlement statement for everyone that closed escrow last year. So like Alberto, things of value that go a long way that are touch points. Also, our home warranty rep is great with sending us reminders of if they got service, then I reach out to them and make sure that they're good to go and they're home. So little touch points like that are huge. And same thing with Alberto. I kind of classify A, B, and C in a way. The C's I contact once a quarter like normal. The B's are a little bit, same kind of concept for sure. Yeah, same thing.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, it's such a, staying in touch is critically important. Making sure like I love the idea of, one of the things you said about the deeds. In today's world, with all the fraud going on, it's good to check somebody's deed once a year to make sure nothing funky's going on too. That's also a really good thing, because there are actually companies that have started out there. They will monitor your house. Now they're monitoring your title. That's how crazy it's gotten. Imagine that.
Yeah.
Nuts.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go ladies first. Jennifer, any final words? Anything that I forgot to ask you that you think they should know?
It's just follow up and consistency. You really have to time block your schedule. There's only so many hours in the day, so many days in the week. And it's important to also have family time and friend time and personal time as well to reward yourself for your efforts. You have to remind yourself that being self-employed in real estate is a full-time job. So you can make your own hours. You can take a longer lunch one day because you're going to miss lunch another day. So you just have to be consistent with trying to put at least your 40 hours in every single week and making it productive. So really, consistency, follow up, and mindset, like Alberto was saying, is what's going to drive you for sure.
I agree. Imagine if everybody treated it like you do, like a business. Like, I work 40 hours a week minimum. I love that you said that. I work 40 hours a week. I actually pretend I'm checking in, punching out. I take a break. I have lunch. I do what I'm supposed to be doing. And then stuff happens. It's amazing to me that people get into real estate and they just expect stuff to like what is this, osmosis? You have to be doing things every day to cause the universe. And I firmly believe this, karma. I call it prospecting karma or proactive karma. If you're doing stuff, the universe goes, oh, he's looking for business or she's looking for business. And then the universe intentionally has a great sense of humor, and your prospecting expires and a FSBO calls you out of the blue. Hey, I saw your sign over here. And you've never even talked to them. It's weird the way the numbers work out, but it doesn't always come from what you're doing. It sneaks up on you, but it always works if you're being proactive.
Yes. And also, if you want more listings or business, just plan a vacation. You're good to go.
That's funny.
True.
I heard somebody said that. You just screw with the universe and plan a vacation, put a deposit on it, and then boom, you'll start getting business immediately.
Yeah.
I love it. All right, cool, Jennifer. Thank you. All right, Alberto, how about you?
Well, two things, but the first thing is something that a lot of people don't talk about, and it's something that I've become better at, and I've been, through my career, it's something that I've been needing to work on, learning to say no. We're being attacked by people all the time for, buy this service, buy that service, or I'm a buyer looking to buy, but I have no real motivation. I'm just going to waste your time, or I'm a seller and I'm completely out of my mind when it comes to price. Don't be afraid to say no. It's okay, because those things that take you away from what you should be doing, and from those people that do deserve your time. And it's hard for, especially for new agents, to say no, because they don't have any business, so they're just okay with saying yes to everything. So I think that's a huge thing to really consider, right? Saying no more often. And then the other thing, of course, I think, especially if somebody's new, is mindset. I will, hopefully this is not a problem, but I'm going to plug Todd Akes, because I've been hanging around and talking to Todd and actually meeting with him a few times. And I think Todd has he does an excellent job of helping people with their mindset. If you need mindset, everybody can do, even as great as I feel with my mindset, I always feel that I can do better. So it's one of those things that I think it's fundamental.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's true. Yeah, I've heard Todd speak. He sounds good. He's got some good stuff going on. He actually calls it mindset coaching, which is great. It's all about,
Right.
it's funny because Wayne Dyer will tell you, he's walking down the beach This woman has just moved. He moved to Hawaii. This woman just moved to Hawaii. So she says to him, how are the people here? I just moved here. And he goes, well, how are the people where you come from? Well, they were nice. Well, they're pretty much the same here, right? In other words, the point is, whatever's on if you're looking for, people to be cranky, you're going to find that. If you're looking for people to be nice and happy, you're going to find that. So it's amazing. I really think you get what you expect and you create. Like, look at, like one of you mentioned the media, watching the media today is like the biggest waste of time you could ever do, because it's not even the truth. It's their version of the truth, and they're all terrible in different directions. So you take that time. If you're a news junkie, that's what I call people that watch too much news junkie. If you're a news junkie and you just got to get your fix, read a great book, listen to a great book, do some meditation. It's so much better for you, because as you're listening to junk, it changes your blood pressure, your heart rate. It's like food, but it goes in the brain. If we don't have enough training on mindset, it's so important, I think. All right. Go ahead, Alberto.
I watch so little media. This is how little media I watch. My wife always gives me a hard time. She's like, how come you're not up to date on what's going on in the world and this? And I'm like, because it's not. I don't care. First of all, most of it is baloney, and it's gonna go away anyways. I'm not interested in that, right? And then COVID hit, right? So I came home and I sat down on the couch and I turned on the news. And she goes, "What are you doing?" I go, I told you I wasn't going to watch the news until the world was falling apart, and apparently the world's falling apart. So now I'm going to watch and see what happens. And then after they said it, I'm like, whatever. And I just went on with my day. And I was during COVID. I was in the office every day. I was in the office. I was still prospecting and everything else. I didn't let that bother me and get in my way. So that's just to your point. I do not watch any news or media.
Yeah, I came in every day too, because my wife was at home every day, and I love my relationship, so we have to have our time apart. No, she loves working out of the house. I'm not crazy about it, and I like coming in. I love the office atmosphere. It's more productive. And no, I was saying we were lucky in Nevada. We really did. We were considered. What was it? What was the word they used? Necessary. No, that's not the word. Essential. We were essential. Imagine in some states you were. Jennifer, you were not essential for a while. I just want you to know that.
I know. Break my heart.
Well, we know you're super essential. Okay, just your governor at the time didn't know. But anyway, let's not get political. All right. I want to say thank you, both of you, for taking your time out. This was completely awesome. I'm sure a lot of people got nuggets out of this. And thanks for taking your time out for doing it. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye, everybody.